Hi, this is Tox from Catan.com, and I am here with my little partner Ninja Zach. He is going to help us take a look at what game? Catan Jr. We're going to look at Catan Jr., which is from Mayfair Games, the makers of Settlers of Catan and a whole plethora of Catan games, which most adults are used to, but not many kids are used to. Settlers of Catan is a very widely popular known game, not just because of Will Wheaton doing it on tabletop, which was pretty cool, but because a lot of people use that as a game to introduce people to designer board games, because it is so popular and a very loved game. But this is a lighter version based on a pirate theme, and it's designed for kids. It's for ages 6 and up. You're 6, so that works for you, ages 6 and up. And plays about 30 minutes for 2 to 4 players. So we're going to crack it open, we're going to take a look at it, and we're both going to give you our opinions. Ninja Zach's going to give it a crit, a hit, or a miss, and I'm going to give it a crit, a hit, or a miss, so you can get it from 2 different perspectives. So let's crack open the box and take a look. Alright, hi everybody. We've got Catan Jr. set up. Ninja Zach and myself are going to take a look at this and show you some of the components and show you some of the gameplay. So the first thing you'll notice is the board looks very familiar to Catan. There are 2 turtles up here in the corner, so this tells us that this is a 2-player map, and you'll notice that there's spots for the red player and for the blue player. But on the other side, you also have a 4-player map, and up here there's 4 turtles, so that tells us that it is a 4-player map. And there are spots for red, for white, for orange or yellow, and for blue. So you can play this game 2 or 4 players. You could probably play this map with 3 players and have no issues. But what we're going to do is show you a little bit of gameplay around a 2-player game. Each player starts off with a layer on the color that matches their spot. And the object of the game is to build all 7 of your layers. You start off with 7 total, so you have 2 on the board at the beginning. And then you also get 8 pirate ships. And the pirate ships go in between. So everyone gets a card like this that shows what you can build. And according to this lets us build a layer for a cutlass, a molasses, a goat, and a wood. We get to build a ship for a goat and a wood, and we get a cocoa card for a cutlass, molasses, and a gold nugget. So we each get one of those. Now how do we get our resources? Well, everybody starts the game with a molasses and a wood from the stockpile. And then the market gets filled, which is over here, with one of each type of resource. So again, there is molasses, there's cutlasses, there's wood, there's gold nuggets, and there is goats. Now the first player has a very big advantage because part of your turns is trading, and you can trade with the market. Now you can't build a layer directly opposite another layer until you have a pirate ship in between to get you there. So the first thing you're going to have to do on your turns is build a pirate ship. And since you don't have a goat, but you need a goat and a wood to build it, the first person usually has a pretty good advantage of being able to trade with the market and get that goat. So the first thing that happens, the ghost pirate gets put over here on Skull Island. And if we roll a 6, he'll come out and get involved in the game.
Yeah, just like right there.
Just like right there. So let's go ahead and show everybody how this works. So the first thing we do is we roll the dice. Once you roll it up here so people can see. Ninja Zach rolls a 1. So the first thing you do is you look to see on the board where all the 1s are. So right here is a 1, and everyone adjacent to it would get one of those resources. So I'm red, so I get a cutlass.
And I get a goat.
And you get a goat because you're adjacent to the goat. That's right. So the goat goes right with you. Now that's a huge advantage because now the next part of your turn is you get to build. And you have a goat and a wood to be able to build your first pirate ship now because you got that resource. So do you want to do that?
Sure.
Sure, why not? Okay, so let's go ahead and put those back in the stockpile.
I'm going to put my blue pirate ship. You can put it here.
Right, you can't just put it out in the middle of nowhere. You've got to put it adjacent to a layer.
See that blue line? That means that's your starting.
That's one of your starting areas, that's right. Okay, so you're going to build your pirate ship right there. Perfect. Now, Ninja Zach can also trade if he wants. So he could do 3 different things. he could trade 1-for-1 with the market, meaning he has a molasses, so if he wanted to put his molasses into the market and take a goat out or a gold nugget out, he could do that 1-for-1. You could take the gold nugget? Okay. Now, if at any time in the market there are 5 of the same resource, then the market gets reset and one of each resource gets put back out there. Now, he only has 1 resource left because he spent 2 to build his pirate ship, but if he had 2 of the same resource, he could do a 2-for-1 trade with the stockpile. So he could have traded, let's say, 2 barrels of molasses for 1 wood from the stockpile. Now, the other option, aside from building your lair or building your pirate ship, is you can build cocoa cards. And cocoa cards are named after the parrot Coco, and they'll have different effects on the game, like moving the ghost pirate, or getting more resources, or building lairs and ships for free, right?
Yeah.
And Ninja Zach loves cocoa cards.
Yeah, I go crazy.
You go crazy for cocoa cards. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and roll. I got 4, so you are adjacent here, and you get a pile of wood.
Yeah, 1 wood.
I am adjacent here, and I get a barrel of molasses. Now, you have to build first and then trade. I don't have enough to build anything, so I can't build anything. But I will go ahead and trade a barrel of molasses for a goat, and I'll get a goat. And that'll be the end of my turn. And then it's Ninja Zach's turn. Why don't you go ahead and roll the dice again. Let her roll. Ninja Zach rolled a 5. Now, 5 on a 2-player game is very interesting because it's the center island and it provides gold, but no one is adjacent to it, so nobody gets any resources.
That's unlucky.
So you don't have enough to build anything either. Do you want to trade anything, or are you okay for right now?
I will trade you this.
For what would you like? The goat?
No.
The sword?
Yeah.
Okay, so similar to Settlers of Catan, you can trade with players. So Ninja Zach wants to take my cutlass for a wood. And I'm okay with that, so I'll agree to it. So I'll go ahead and give him my cutlass, and I'll take his wood. Now, if you do that, you can't trade with the market, and you can't trade with the stockpile. So of the 3 options to trade, 1-for-1 in the market, 2-for-1 in the stockpile, or with another player, once you choose one, that's your trade for the turn. Okay, so now it's my turn, okay? Now, I'm going to show you an example. Let's say I rolled, and I rolled a 6. The 6 is the ghost pirate. Now, what happens with the ghost pirate is I get to move him off Skull Island and put him wherever I want to put him.
Now you get 2 of that resource.
Right, I get 2 of that resource. So let's say I wanted to get, well, Ninja Zach just took my cutlass, and if I had a cutlass, I could build another lair. But I really need to build another ship. I have enough to build a ship right now, so I think I still do want to get a cutlass. So I'm going to go ahead and put him on this island here, which provides cutlasses. Because I put him there, I get 2 of them. Now, from this point forward, if we roll a 2, this island won't produce that resource. So Ninja Zach, being adjacent to it, won't get any of them. Now, additionally, Skull Island can become a location. And how does that happen?
Get the most cocoa cards. That's why I go crazy with them.
That's why you like the cocoa cards. So what happens is, whoever buys the most cocoa cards, and we'll give you an example here. So this one would say move the ghost pirate if you got this. But once you take it, you actually keep it and hold on to it. So if I had the most cocoa cards here, I get to put a lair onto Skull Island. Now what that means is the first person who buys a cocoa card is going to get to put their lair on Skull Island. But the second person that buys a cocoa card, each of them will have 1, so the lair will have to come off because no one has the most. So that's why Ninja Zach likes to go crazy with cocoa cards. I think at any one point, what was the most you had? Like 6 or 7 in one game? 7? Yeah, it was 7. He had a lot of cocoa cards. No one could catch him. But because you only have 7 total layers to put out, and you start with 2, grabbing that one so that you only have to pay for 4 is really, really, really big. So that is Catan Jr. It's fairly basic, but it is a lot of fun. It's something that, as you can see from Ninja Zach, he's 6 and up, which is what the game tells you it should be for. He has a lot of fun playing it. Now, the big question, Ninja Zach, are you ready? We're going to give it a review. And when we give it a review, we give it a miss, a hit, or a crit. A miss is a bad game we don't like. A hit is a good game we do like. And a crit is a great game that we love. So which do you want to give this?
Double crit.
A double crit? Okay. That may be the first. Okay, so you like a double crit. What's your favorite thing about the game?
Getting Cocoa cards and putting them in.
Putting your lair on Skull Island and getting the Cocoa cards. That's a lot of fun. I actually like the fact that it teaches you about resources. And because this is a kid's game, there's a lot of designer board games that deal with a lot of resources, but you, at only 6 years old, have picked up really well how to trade, both with other players, with the stockpile, and with the market. So it's a great game that's light enough, but strategic enough to teach kids about bigger types of board games than just the regular generic games. So I'm going to give it a hit. I'm not going to give it a full crit, but as a parent, I think it's a fun game to play with your kids. I don't think a group of adults would have a ton of fun playing it. I think they'd rather play Settlers of Catan. But when you play with your kids, it's a lot of fun to have a good time with. Okay, so that's Catan Junior. We hope you liked it. We hope this gave you an insight into if the game is good for you and your family. So once again, Ninja Zach gave it, what? A crit or hit or a miss?
A crit.
A crit. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a hit. So we hope you like this. Let us know your thoughts here on the YouTube channel. You can go to our blog at critshappen.com. You can go to facebook.com/critshappen, or you can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/critshappen. Thanks for watching, and keep rolling those dice, and we hope they're all crits.